But she is an excellent actress, a very attractive actress for those guys that like to look at scream queens. Also, there is an actress, I believe her name is Kelly Baker. She is, I believe, an English actress. I believe she was also in Don't Open Till Christmas. And she was great in this. I almost didn't think that she fit in real well with the other kids, because she always has an innocent quality to her acting. Even on Don't Open Till Christmas, where she was playing a dancer, or a girl that is in one of the peep booths in an adult store, you know, where guys go to, you know, watch women dance and undress in these booths. She still had that innocent quality to her, and you almost didn't feel like she should be in that film either, or at least not in that role. But I always really like her in the films that I've seen her in. She gives a little bit of class to movies that don't usually get any respect. So Kelly Baker and Caroline Munro were both fantastic in this film. Some of the other actors and actresses, while they did a competent job, maybe they were just new actors and actresses. Maybe they didn't ever do any more films after this one. This one horror film might have been it for them. But I think they did the best job that they could. Just the acting just wasn't a very strong point in this film. I think the strong point, one of the strong points anyway, was the effects. I actually did think there were a few creative death scenes in this one. A woman going to take a bath and acid coming out of the faucet and dissolving her skin. I think for 1986 that effect was really well done, and leaps and bounds over the CG stuff that you would see now. I mean, you can't convince me otherwise. You can't change my mind on that. Sorry guys, you won't be able to do that. I'm all for computers, but I still believe that the CG effects look fake, especially when they're overdone. And I know what you're probably thinking, well, a lot of that old school stuff looks fake too. Yeah, some of it does, but some of it is also done in a way that makes it appropriate for the film, and also gives a bit of realism to it. When you're dealing with latex and fake blood as opposed to computer generated imagery, I still say that the old school effects are a lot more seamless and realistic. I've seen films with computer generated effects work where someone gets decapitated and the head just, it doesn't fly off, it doesn't do anything, it just simply slides off the neck, and it just looks so fake. But I really appreciated the old school effects in Slaughter High. I really appreciated the setup, even though the setup was your standard slasher film setup. When these young people were in high school, they played a trick on a guy that you would probably refer to as a nerd in movies. He was a really smart guy named Marty. And the girls, you know, teased him and stuff, and the guys would tease him, and he gets tricked into going into the girls' locker room with Caroline Munro's character at the beginning of the film, and he thinks he's actually going to get to have sex with Caroline Munro's character. What turns out to be an elaborate April Fool's day prank where he is really embarrassed, and then to add insult to injury, they mess around with some things in the chemistry lab where he's working on some kind of experiment, and something ends up exploding, acid gets on his face, and he is disfigured and ultimately goes insane and ends up in the hospital. You fast forward several years later, where the students that played the prank on Marty have received mysterious invitations to come back to their old high school for a reunion, and only this group of people that played the prank on Marty are the ones that get invited. No one else shows up. So that, you know, there's food and there's drink and alcohol and everything for them there to have a party. And, you know, they notice a few weird things, like all their lockers are moved into this one area, and Marty's locker is there, and his yearbook, they look through his yearbook and stuff, and there's also a rat that jumps out of his locker when they open it. But as is usual in horror films, they don't pay any attention. They just keep partying and stuff until people start getting killed off. And then, of course, it gets down to the final girl, like what I like to call the final girl theory or whatever, where this again is typical slasher film territory. The final girl has to fight whoever the killer is, and sometimes they win and sometimes they don't. And again, I won't give this away because this one is another one that has possibly a triple twist ending, and it's unique in that respect. So again, I'm not going to give that away, but definitely pick up this uncut version of Slaughter High. I think it's still available. The transfer is horrible. I think it was taken straight from the VHS, because you can actually see the Vestron Video logo at the end of the film. And there's not really any extras except for possibly a trailer and a trivia track, which I don't think I've tried the trivia track. I think I started to, and then I got kind of a little bit bored with. I'd rather have commentary on a film rather than these. If anybody remembers the pop-up video from VH1, where they would pop up these little tidbits of information about the video that you were watching. If anybody remembers that, this trivia track on Slaughter High is similar to that. And for me, that gets kind of annoying after a while, these little things popping up randomly that you have to read. And sometimes they don't stay on the screen long enough for you to read all of it, and so you're running it back. And you don't get any enjoyment out of the movie, number one. Yes, I know that you can watch the movie without the trivia track. But still, your brain's trying to focus on the movie, plus trying to focus on what the trivia is that's popping up every few seconds or minutes or whatever. Also, I almost forgot, this is probably not really a good thing to bring up, because it's not a good thing regarding the movie, but it is tragic that Simon Scudamore, that played Marty in the film, I believe he committed suicide shortly after this film was made, or right before it was supposed to come out. So evidently there were some underlying issues there, which again is a tragic thing to happen, because I believe that guy would have had a career possibly outside of horror movies even. So that is very sad that he chose to take his own life like that. But regardless of that, definitely pick up Slaughter High if you haven't seen it, or even if you have seen it and you haven't seen it in a while. give this one a try. I think you'll enjoy it.